All right, welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Glad to be back.
This time we're diving into Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
Episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2.
Specifically a myenemylist.net forum thread about it.
Exactly right. And, we're not going to rehash the entire plot.
No.
We know you're already watching.
For sure.
So let's jump right in to that good stuff.
There's a lot of good stuff, especially surrounding Sakuta and Mai.
Their dynamic is what everyone is talking about.
It's electric.
People are obsessed.
Some are even saying best couple of 2018.
I mean, that's high praise.
It is, but I think a lot of it comes down to their honesty with each other.
Yeah, sure.
You don't really see that anime that often.
You usually have all these misunderstandings.
Yeah, or people taking forever to confess their feelings.
Right, and
They lay it all out there.
like right away.
Which might be why some people are saying it feels rushed.
I can kind of see that.
Like they go from strangers to sharing a hotel room pretty fast.
Yeah, in just one episode.
But you have to remember the circumstances.
May's adolescent syndrome.
It kind of forces that urgency.
Her situation is definitely serious.
Yeah, that scene with her mom.
Oh, man. That was rough.
Just heartbreak, yeah.
People in the forum were calling it haunting.
And even rough.
It really solidifies that this isn't just a simple invisibility thing.
This is affecting her entire life.
Her identity.
Her relationships, even her memories.
And that brings us back to the central mystery.
What even is adolescent syndrome?
Right, like we see it.
We see the effects.
But we have no idea.
Why or how it works.
It's like the show is mirroring adolescence itself.
In a way.
Where you're going through all these confusing changes.
Feeling all these things.
But you have no idea why.
And of course, the forum is buzzing with theories.
Like, why doesn't Sakuta just ask people if they can see her?
That's what I would do.
Right. Seems obvious.
But as one commenter pointed out, that would make Sakuta seem crazy.
Can you imagine?
Trying to convince someone a person they can't see is standing right next to you.
It'd be like proving ghosts exist.
It'd be impossible.
So that adds another layer to Sakuta's challenge.
For sure.
He can't just rely on normal methods.
It's like he stumbled into a hidden reality.
Where the rules are different.
Exactly. And speaking of hidden layers, did you see that comment comparing it to Schrodinger's cat?
Oh, yeah. That's a fun one.
It is a bit meta.
Well, I mean, Schrodinger's cat is that thought experiment where the cat is both alive and dead.
Until you observe it.
And Mai is kind of the same way.
Existing and not existing.
Depending on who's looking at her.
It really adds that layer of philosophical intrigue.
Like it makes you question the nature of reality.
Like what even is real man?
What happens when our perceptions shift?
Or vanish completely.
Pretty deep stuff for an anime with a bunny girl.
That's what I love about it.
Me too. And you can't forget about Tomo.
Oh yeah, the girl Sakuta kicks.
What a way to make an entrance.
That whole scene had people debating.
Like, is she believable?
Is she just comic relief?
Or is there something more to her?
Only
time will tell. And speaking of things that make you wonder, we have to talk about Shoko.
Sakuta's past love.
Who also disappeared.
It's brief, but it's clearly foreshadowing.
Oh yeah, they're definitely planting seeds.
Making us wonder if it's connected to Mai.
And then on top of all that, we have these comparisons to other shows.
Like Monogatari and Oragairu.
Which is totally intentional. It's like they're signaling to fans.
Say, hey, if you like those, you'll probably like this.
Which makes sense.
Bunny Girl Senpai is very dialogue heavy.
It's all about those deep conversations and character moments.
And exploring the complexities of relationships.
So much going on.
It's a multi-layered cake.
And we're just getting started.
Because remember, episode 2 ends with Sakuta and Mai sharing a hotel room.
And a bed.
Now, before anyone jumps to conclusions...
It's presented as a necessity.
Because of her invisibility.
But it's still a huge step in their relationship.
And it leaves us with so many questions.
We'll have to dive into those in part 2.
So stay tuned.
We're going even deep.
Buckle up. Welcome back to the deep dive.
Back into the world of bunny girls and adolescent syndrome.
Episode 2 really threw us for a loop.
Still thinking about that scene with May's mom.
Oh, man.
Heavy stuff.
It's what really drove home the seriousness of it all for a lot of viewers.
Yeah, like this isn't just, oh, she's invisible.
Right. It's so much more than that.
It's like her whole identity is being erased.
Her connection to the world.
Even her own family.
And that's where those theories about school being some sort of safe zone come in.
Yeah, a bunch of comments are talking about that.
Like maybe school is an anchor to reality.
For those with adolescent syndrome.
It's interesting because school is usually where we form our identities.
It's where you figure out who you are.
Where you find your place.
But what happens when you start fading from that very structure?
It's scary.
No wonder people are relating it to those feelings of being unseen.
Unheard.
forgotten.
It's like the show is taking our adolescent anxieties and putting them on steroids.
And using this supernatural lens to magnify them.
Exactly.
Okay, now while we're on the subject of things that make you go,
We have to talk about Tomo.
the girl who asks Sakuta to kick her.
She's a wild card.
The forum is divided.
Some people think she's totally unbelievable.
Like a forced attempt at humor.
Others think she's going to be important.
A catalyst for chaos.
Who knows, but she definitely made an impression.
And speaking of impressions, that pacing comparison to Kiminoso was interesting.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It's a good point of reference.
Both shows deal with memory and loss.
But Bunny Girl Senpai feels more urgent.
Definitely faster paced.
And then there are the comparisons to Monogatari and Oragaru.
It's more than just these shows are similar.
It's like they're targeting specific fans.
Saying, hey, if you like this, you'll like this.
Which makes sense.
All three shows are super dialogue heavy.
Lots of intercession.
Deep conversations about relationships.
Okay, but back to this question of why doesn't Sakuta just show people a picture of Mai?
I know, right?
Seems like an easy fix.
But what if her image doesn't even show up?
Because of the syndrome.
And even if it did, how do you explain that?
It's like trying to convince someone you saw Bigfoot.
You need more than just your word.
Sakuta needs to find a way to make the invisible visible.
To prove that May exists.
That our life matters.
It's a tough spot to be in.
And then there's that moment when Mai tells Sakuta she's afraid of being forgotten.
By him.
Ugh, my heart broke.
That's what makes this more than just a typical romance.
It's about those deep fears we all
the
have.
fear of losing ourselves.
Of not mattering.
And episode 2 leaves us hanging.
Wondering how Sakuta will respond.
How he'll fight for Mai.
When everyone else is forgetting her.
It's intense.
And we're just getting started.
Buckle up for part 3.
We're back for the final part of our Bunny Girl Senpai deep dive. And wow, episode 2 really threw us for a loop.
It really did. We had cute moments and heartbreaking moments and everything in between.
And that's what people are loving about it.
It's that perfect blend of light and heavy.
Exactly. Like, it's fun, but it also makes you think.
And the forum is just buzzing with theories.
Like that one about Sakuta being the key to all of this.
Oh, yeah, the one where he's like the chosen one or something.
Exactly, because remember, he has that scar.
And those hints about his past.
It's like he's got this secret knowledge about adolescence syndrome.
That no one else has.
Which adds a whole other layer to his relationship with Mai.
It's not just about liking each other.
It's about understanding each other on a deeper level.
And that's what makes those vulnerable moments so powerful.
Like when Mai tells him she's afraid of being forgotten. Right in the feels.
Like she's not just worried about disappearing.
She's worried about disappearing from Sakuta's memory.
And that's terrifying.
So now the question is, will Sakuta's connection to the syndrome help him save Mai?
Or will it make things worse?
Will he get sucked in even deeper?
Who knows? But it's definitely a possibility.
And then there's that theory about Mai's past trauma being the cause.
The whole be careful what you wish for thing. She wanted to disappear from the spotlight. And now she's literally disappearing.
It makes you wonder if the solution lies within her.
Maybe she needs to confront her past.
To find your true self.
To reclaim her place in the world.
Okay, but what about the picture thing?
The one where people keep asking why Sakuta doesn't just show everyone a photo of May?
Right, like wouldn't that solve everything?
But what if it doesn't work?
What if her image doesn't even show up in photos?
Because of the syndrome.
And even if it did, how do you explain that to people?
You'd sound crazy.
Sakuta's in a tough spot.
He has to find a way to make the invisible visible.
To convince the world that May matters.
It's a powerful message.
And that's what makes this show so special.
It's more than just a cute anime.
It's about real human struggles.
It's about finding yourself. It's about connecting with others.
And it's about never giving up hope.
Even when it feels like the world is forgetting you.
This deep dive has been a wild ride.
Filled with twists and turns.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
So if you haven't already, go check out Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
You won't regret it.
And join us next time for another deep dive into a topic you love.
Until then, keep those theories coming.
We'll see you soon.